Guys, it is extremely hard for me to imagine a worse PR nightmare than that of what is going on with the fugitive Texas Democrats right now. Okay, I can't imagine a worse PR nightmare because, I mean, they've absolutely embarrassed the Democrat Party, right? They've exposed the Democrat Party for what they really are. They are really the true obstructionists, right? When they can't get what they want, right? Or the Republicans are trying to pass legislation that they want because they have the majority, because people voted them into power to do that. They decided they don't really care about the will of the people, right? The will of the people be damned. We're just going to leave and run away and flee to Washington, D.C., right, to hang out with Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and the Democrats there. And also, by the way, get embarrassed in Congress by Nancy Mace, okay, when confronted about whether or not what they're running away for, right, in order to block this so-called voter suppression bill from the GOP, whether that problem is actually a real problem, okay? It's not even a real issue, right? They're fighting for an issue that does not exist, okay? And then they're raising money off of it. They're raising money, and then they're using that money to obstruct from laws being made in Texas, right? I mean, it's absolutely criminal. It's embarrassing, and it is a PR nightmare, and the PR nightmare continues to get worse for them as the future Democrats have the unmitigated gall, the cojones, to file a lawsuit against Governor Greg Abbott for damaging their reputations, even though they caused all of this, right? Typical Democrat move, okay? Blaming Republicans for something that they caused. Let's read here. Almost 24 Texas Democrats who fled to Washington, D.C. last month in order to block 2 restrictive voting reform bills proposed by Republicans have now filed a lawsuit against Governor Greg Abbott. Abbott, who is Republican, threatened to arrest the lawmakers when they eventually returned to the Lone Star State after they packed into private jets and flew to the nation's capital on July 12th. Okay, I must say, I think a couple of the future Democrats did return back to Texas, and Greg Abbott did not arrest them, right? The Texas legislature did not arrest them, and I'm really disappointed in that, right? Not because I want to see my political opponents jailed, right? I don't want to see them jailed, but they should have been arrested just for the PR purposes, right? Just for PR purposes, just to show the American people that this is what happens to politicians whom basically waste taxpayer money, right? This is costing millions of dollars of the Texas taxpayer money. I would be pissed if I was a Texan. I would not be surprised if Democrats get blown out in the next state and local elections in Texas. Wouldn't be surprised. Okay, they should all be voted out. Honestly, they should be impeached. They really should be impeached. On Friday, 2020 Democrats filed a complaint in federal court in Austin, claiming that Republican attempts to bring them home for special legislative sessions is a violation of their rights. Wait. So, doing your job is a violation of your rights. So telling them to come home and do their job is a violation of their rights. Bruh, you cannot make this up, bruh. Like, can you guys believe this? This is the argument that these fools are making. Bruh, politics, man. I'm telling you, politics is a joke. It really is. The plaintiffs claim, quote, they have been deprived for substantial periods of time and have suffered much anxiety and distress over the separation from their families. Okay, hold on. I got to read this in my mocking voice, okay? I got to. The plaintiffs claim they, quote, have been deprived of liberty for substantial periods of time and suffered much anxiety and distress over the separation from their families. They also said they have suffered from much discomfort and embarrassment because their reputations have been impaired. Oh my God, bro. You cannot make this up. So essentially what they're saying, guys, is that we don't want to do our jobs. And because our employer, right, our employer is telling us to come to work, that is causing us stress and anxiety because we're being separated from our families. Like, what sense does that make? You are the ones that are voluntarily separating yourself from your family, right? Your job is to come in and vote. If you don't agree with the bill, you vote no. But your job is not to obstruct the bill from passing. That's not your job. Okay? Guys, I mean, this is a PR move, right? This is going to get thrown out immediately. There's no way this goes anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. The only thing you're doing is just costing the Texan taxpayers more money, right? And all the donation dollars is going to these people that Democrats are raising for them. This is what it's going towards, guys. Political games like this, right? And this is why I got to tell you and tell you. The Democrats thrive off of their base being ignorant, right? Ignorance. Because only an ignorant person would donate to these people. In addition to Abbott, GOP House Speaker Dade Fallon and State Rep James White are also named as defendants in the suit. Almost 24 Democrats who fled to Washington, D.C. last month in order to block 2 restrictive voting reform bills proposed by Republicans have now filed a lawsuit against Governor Greg Abbott. Some of the left-wing lawmakers are pictured fleeing the state on a private jet on July 12th. Abbott threatened to arrest the lawmakers when they eventually returned to the Lone Star State. The suit comes one day after Abbott called for a second special legislative session to pass 2 Republican voting rights bills, which is the reason that sparked several dozen Democrat lawmakers to flee the state and break quorum in the first place. Quote, I will continue to call special session after special session to reform our broken bail system, uphold election integrity, and pass other important items that Texans demand and deserve, Abbott said in a statement. Passing these special session agenda items will chart a course towards a stronger and brighter future for the Lone Star State. Meanwhile, several of the Texas Democrats have reportedly jetted out of the country on vacation. The Texas Democratic Caucus could not account for State Representatives Julie Johnson of Farmers Branch and Jessica Gonzalez of Dallas and Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. A person familiar with the situation told the Texas Tribune in a Wednesday report. A reporter for Texas Monthly tweeted on Tuesday they could confirm both lawmakers and their partners went to Portugal for a vacation they have been planning with non-refundable tickets for a year and a half. The duo, the reporter continued, were still participating in meetings with the caucus over Zoom. All right, so these are the fugitive Democrats that are vacationing, okay, in Portugal, right, in Europe, right, vacationing, chilling on taxpayer dollars. Runaway Texas Democrat Representatives Jessica Gonzalez left and Julie Johnson Wright could not be accounted for by their caucus on Tuesday and reportedly jetted off to Portugal for a pre-planned vacation. So basically, as you can see there, guys, this tells you what the Democrats are about. They're about playing games, right? And they're about wasting taxpayer dollars in order to do so. And again, you have not only these Texas Democrats suing the governor for anxiety and stress caused by them being separated from their families, even though they are voluntarily separated, right, from, doing their jobs. Okay, they don't want to show up for their jobs. Again, it makes absolutely no sense. You got 2 of them that have said, F it, I'm going to vacation in Portugal, right? Also a terrible look. You're in Portugal in Europe while you are basically causing taxpayers millions of dollars in Texas, guys, because every single special legislative session, guys, that they call, that costs money, right? I went over an article talking about how this literally is going to cost millions, right, for Texans. So each time Governor Greg Abbott has to do this over and over again, these politicians that are actually there, they have to get paid, okay? So the ones that are there have to get paid. They're always in session, right? That costs money. The resources to carry this out cost money. But Greg Abbott has to keep doing it in order to make sure that this bill gets passed, okay? And the Democrats are hoping that Greg Abbott folds and stops calling the special legislative session. That's what they're hoping for in order to stop it. But they know that that's not going to happen, right? And from a PR perspective, the Democrats look like the bad guys because they're just not doing their jobs. Guys, can you imagine if you worked in, a regular job like corporate America and you just decided that, oh, I'm not going to show up for work. And not only am I not going to show up for work, I'm also going to sue my boss. I'm also going to sue the company I work for because they've caused me stress from me not showing up to work, right? For me being separated from my coworkers or my family or whatever, right? It's really silly, right? It's crazy. I mean, you would look like a fool. You would look like a crazy person. Somebody would be telling you, hey, you need to lay on somebody's couch and talk to somebody, right? That's what people will be saying. Okay. And also on top of that, you will be fired. And I would say in this situation, that's what I'm saying. Like, these Texas Democrats, these fugitive Democrats need to be fired, right? Just like they should be arrested. Okay. Should they be jailed? No, they shouldn't be jailed, but they should be arrested and brought to the Capitol, right, to do their jobs. Okay. And then impeached. But we know the Republicans won't do that. They won't impeach him. The same reason they're not going to really arrest him, right? They're all talk, right? And I'm tired of Republicans being all talk. If the Democrats going to play the PR game too. Arrest them. Show them this is what happens when you waste taxpayer dollars on frivolous things like this. And what really bothers me the most, again, is the amount of money being raised for these people, knowing that this is just a game, right? And they're talking about, well, we're going to stay until something gets done in Washington, D.C. And I'm like, bro, nothing's getting done in Washington, D.C. The For the People Act is dead, right? The House has went on vacation. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So you might as well go back home and take your L. You guys, again, already got embarrassed when it came to the COVID thing, right? Which, in my opinion, guys, I told you, I think that is what kind of started the domino effect in regards to this being a high-profile case of politicians catching COVID, right? I think that basically led the Democrats to say, oh, well, this is an excuse now to implement more mandates that they don't really want to follow, right? So, I mean, this has just been a nightmare. I mean, these guys have really caused a lot of problems for this country, not just at the state level in Texas, but also at the national level, right? And I'll be so glad when they finally return back so they can just take their L. That's what they should do. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.